I'm Melissa from Melissa's Creations, and today I'm going to show you how to make this simple Firefly card using the Jar of Love stamp set and the Everyday Jars Framelits. This is a fantastic set. I can't say enough good things about it. I just got it yesterday and already I've done so many different cards with it. I used the goldfish to do a similar card like this in jars, and then I also use the goldfish to make my own designer series paper background. So it's been a lot of fun, and there's a lot of great sayings on here too, so it's really a good value. There's 37 two-step stamps in here, and then we have all of these framelits as well. So I've already pre-cut and done all the embossing, so I'll just kind of describe this card a little bit. We have the 3 fireflies in the jar, and then I did use some glimmer, the Wink of Stella glimmer brush to paint in the, and you can't really see how shiny it, oh there we go, to paint in the lights on the fireflies. And I embossed the lid in gold, and on the next sample I show you, we're going to actually use Emerald Envy, and I've also embossed in Emerald Envy the banner, which I have shown in a previous video. So let's go ahead and get started. You're going to need a sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock cut to size, and this is just 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're also going to need a piece of Emerald Envy cardstock. This measures 5.5 by 1.5. That's just going to go right over the top of our card like this, and we'll trim it down. This is a bit long, but we'll trim it down when we get to that point. And then you're going to need a piece of designer series paper. This is from the In Color stack. It's the stripe, and this measures 5.5 by 3/4. So that's just going to layer right on top of that. And I have already punched out, embossed, and stamped on my banner, "You Light Up My Life." I thought that was so cute with the little fireflies. And I saw the embossing tip for Any Color Ink from Sam at poodles.co.uk. So giving props where props due. She has some really good ideas. So I highly recommend you check out her channel if you haven't yet. So anyway, we already embossed the green, the Emerald Envy. And so that's ready to go. And that's going to go right up in this section here. And I have already as well cut out my fireflies that are going to go on the outside of my jar, and I've cut out the jar. So we're going to do some firefly stamping on here, and then we will start assembling everything. And I have also already cut out and stamped embossed the lid with gold embossing powder. And you can just see that adds a really nice touch to the card. So that's basically going to go around here-ish. I want to make it look like it's just popping the lid off because those fireflies are escaping. So another thing that you're going to need is a scrap of the Peekaboo Peach cardstock, and we're just going to pop 2 1/2-inch circles out of that. And these go on the fireflies that have escaped from the jar to give them just a little bit of color. And we're also going to color these in with some Wink of Stella, and we're going to do a little bit of sponging to soften up those edges. So let's start with our firefly. I'm using the Archival Basic Black Stamp Pad, and I have my fireflies here, and I want them to look like they're trying to fly out of the jar. So that's the direction I'm going to angle all of mine. And I'm making sure to leave a little bit of room past their behinds, because we're going to take the tiny little circle out of here and we're going to stamp that onto them with Peekaboo Peach. Let's see, let's use this block here. So one of the new In Colors, love it. I especially love it with the Emerald Envy. It just looks gorgeous. So I'm going to stamp off so it's just a light image. And I didn't do that on my last one. This is a full color here, but I think I want more subtle on this one. Okay, so there are those. And now I'm going to take a sponge dauber, and I have There, I don't want too much ink on it, but I want just enough. So I'm just gonna very lightly swirl over what I just stamped because it'll give a nice glow in the jar. And you can get as creative with this part as you'd like. It doesn't take much. And I'm not gonna re-ink my dauber. I'm just gonna use what's left on it to give that glow. And then I'm just gonna come in here and kind of glow up the rest of the jar just so it's not quite as stark white. And I stamped this jar in the basic black earlier, so it's been drying like overnight, so it did pretty good. So now I'm just going to ink around these circles that are going to go under our fireflies. And the last thing I'll do is I'll bring in the wink of Stella at the end. Okay, so we're going to take some mini glue dots and we're going to get our fireflies ready. So I'm just going to take one here, take a firefly, and I'm going to put it as close to his behind as I can get without it going off the edge. And I'll pick up a circle. Well, maybe I'll do it this way. And I want it so that the bottom of his wings just touch, like this. Okay, so we'll do that with this other one. These are so tiny, but they are so adorable on this stamp set, on this beautiful card. I think it's just so cute. Okay. All right, so we have those, we have this, we have our lid, and we're ready to start assembling. I'm gonna go ahead and put the banner down or the stripes and the cardstock down first. And again, I'm going to trim it off. I highly recommend that you have a scrap bag or a scrap box that you put all of your extra scraps in, because I always use at least one scrap of paper from my scrap bag. That way I'm using all of my paper. I'm getting the most value out of it as I can, and you'd be surprised at what little paper you can put on a project. So some people may recycle or throw this scrap away, but as you can see, we were able to perfectly punch out the 1/2-inch circle. So I'm saving this for that very reason. So just a little tip, make sure you create, if you don't already have one, a scrap bin or a scrap box. So I'm just leaving about, a 1/2 inch or so. Maybe 3/4. Yeah, let's do 3/4 of an inch from the fold line. And trying to use my paper to line up so that I know it's straight. And there we go. So now we're going to take some scissors and we're just going to trim that off. You could wait until you get your stripe on as well, but I think my stripe is pretty darn close to being the same size. Now this scrap you could use on another project. So I have a chocolate treat box that I started to make, and you know, these stripes are perfect for these little banner guys that stick out. So am I going to keep that one? I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I'll just set it aside for now so that I can decide later if I come across a project that I'm like, oh, that would be perfect for that little tiny scrap that I did that one time. So we're just going to put our stripe on. And yeah, maybe this card isn't cut to size or something, or maybe I just cut it too big. Actually, yeah, my card is a little small, but that's okay. It'll still work. How funny. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and pop up our banner with some dimensionals. And one thing about these, I use every bit that I can get. So the frame, the edge part, is perfect for these. So if you cut 4 triangles worth, so you have this strip here, what I like to do, and because it has the ridges, the triangles, it makes it easy to bend. So I'm going to bend it with my banner so it has the same shape. So works just perfect. So now we can put that on, and let's put that right about there. Great, awesome, okay. So now we're going to glue down our jar. And since this card is 1/4 of an inch smaller than it should be, I really want to make sure I get my placement right. So this is going to actually go up a little bit higher than it normally would. But it would make a great little note card. All right, I'm going to glue this down with some snail also. I don't want too much dimension because I really want those fireflies to really pop out. And I am going to use glue dots for the fireflies. I don't want to use a dimensional, number one, because they're a little too big. I mean, you could still get it on this 1/2 inch circle and it'd be just fine. But I like the glue dots because they're super, super sticky. And it'll just give us a tiny bit of pop. So I'm going to put this one here, make it look like he's flying away from the jar. He's on this side of the jar. And the other little guy, I will put up here, like, get me out of here. Why am I in a jar? Who would do this to me? Cute little guys. Oh, they're so much fun. Okay, so another thing I'm going to do before I get my Wink of Stella in here is I'm going to take a little bit of the Peekaboo Peach with a blender pen, and I'm going to come in here and just lightly color in the tail of the firefly. And again, it doesn't take much, just enough. And these guys are pretty much already colored in on their tails because we used the little tiny round stamp to do that on them. All right, now we'll take our Wink of Stella and, oh, starting to come apart on me. So we're just gonna color in these guys and a little bit up onto their behinds. You could do their wings too, probably, that'd be cute. And then I'm gonna color in my circle and their behind, just to give it a little bit of extra shimmeriness and whimsy to the card. And there we go. Our firefly card is done. So super, super cute. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them on the video link below. I do have a video that I'll be uploading to YouTube soon, but it is available on my Facebook page right now that shows you how to do the embossed banners in any color and a tip to punch those out to get the most out of your paper. So thank you for joining me. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get updated when I post new videos. And be sure to check out my Stampin' Up shop where you can get your supplies 24/7, melissascreations.stampinup.net. Just click on shop now. It'll take you directly to my online store. I do have a hostess code for June. It closes on June 18th. If you use that hostess code and place an order with me, you will get a special gift. And you can follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/mcreations. Thanks so much for joining me, guys.